Nintendo has a rich history of re-releases. Makes sense. Make a great game, let the current generation enjoy, then as systems and capabilities improve, remake the game for both a new and nostalgic audience. We've seen this with graphical upgrades, incorporating newer system controls, porting the games to a new format, and in the case of the Nintendo Switch, bringing over every game from the Wii U. Which is a great idea. Taking advantage of a great catalog of games can provide a safe haven during tough times. They needed to get games at the door while waiting for third-party support, and they're brand new games for 99% of the world anyways. They were still courteous enough to give us a second item slot on Mario Kart, a couple more Pokemon, more Captain Toad than I ever needed, Peachette, Funky Mode. Sure, it wasn't much, but the big key here is these games were the exact same price as someone would have paid a couple years prior, with something added to them. In the last few years, we got Mario 3D World with a completely new side story, and outside of Wii U ports, we'd also receive a multitude of polished classics below the current threshold of $60. They were even sweet enough to bundle Pikmin 1 and 2 for $50. Sure, we received some of the most disappointing remakes of the century, for nearly twice the price of the originals, but for the most part, it seemed a new time was upon us. A time where Nintendo would strive to make games accessible, and draw their large market share into the vast ecosystem of Nintendo intellectual property. Or so it seemed. So Switch 2 rumors begin to swirl, and backwards compatibility is all but confirmed. Finally, a stronger console to replace my 2017 Switch that overheats during the opening cutscene of Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Less than a year until I can play Tears of the Kingdom without setting the house ablaze. Months later, I'm tuned into the April 2nd Nintendo Direct, praying they address backwards compatibility. My eyes gleam as they state there are 3 types of games. One being Nintendo Switch 2 versions. My patience is finally paying off. I might even get to play Zelda in 4K. What a great idea to turn the massive sales from the original Switch into an enticing campaign to enhance what you already own on Switch 2.
Nintendo Switch 2 players who already own Super Mario Party Jamboree can upgrade to Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Jamboree TV by purchasing an upgrade pack.
You can play the Nintendo Switch 2 Edition by purchasing an upgrade pack. We hope you're looking forward to these.
I, like many others, worried whenever prices just happened to be omitted during the presentation, and it wasn't surprising to then find out that most upgrade packs would run me an extra $10. Now I can understand Breath of the Wild, you could have bought that on a Wii U, but when they first released Tears of the Kingdom, they portrayed that $70 price tag like a tax for managing to get such a large game onto something with the same processing power as an iPhone 11. A true next generation game. But now it is the next generation, and I'm paying $10 extra to get performance that matches every first-party title launched by Microsoft or Sony for the past 5 years. My fault, I forgot.
You can get even more out of your adventures in Hyrule using Zelda Notes.
Nintendo. I just want to play the game. The worst part is that's not even the worst one. $20 for a Mario Party expansion? I wouldn't pay $80 for a version with manipulated RNG. That's the same price as the latest innovation in Mario Kart, and that's before accounting for this camera I have to buy to take advantage of these features. So, there has to be a good reason to charge for these. Perhaps they're just trying to add value to the expansion pack long term by adding the passes as a benefit?
I guess not.
Nintendo, I thought I was one of your strongest soldiers, but this has got to be some 300 IQ play I don't understand. They continue to push the online service with everything besides online features. Is this not the perfect opportunity to bolster the expansion pass by providing early adopters of the Switch 2 the benefit of smoother games at the same price during the transitional era between the two systems? And that's just the best option if you don't consider that the Switch 2 by default could have access to the Switch 2 versions. I think my biggest issue lies in that selling the Switch 2 is about perception, which is why if these upgrades aren't pushing the service, they'd be better off pushing the hardware. Just like Wii sales didn't translate to Wii U sales, Switch sales don't guarantee Switch 2 sales. Nowadays, there's a new gaming handheld announced every month. Nintendo's not attempting to be the cheapest of the major competitors, and to know I'll be spending over $80 for new games or to enhance my old games makes me feel silly. I'd feel even sillier thinking about game night where I might get asked why in the world I paid an extra $20 just so we could stack Goombas on our head for 3 minutes after our normal game of Mario Party, which could have played on my current Switch. Flip the script. With a free upgrade pack, the discussion might amount to, that was silly, but just a free little benefit that makes it fun to own a Switch 2. Now, I don't have the market research on me, but we can all agree the $10 upgrade isn't selling half the units the full games are. Not to say it's a drop in the bucket, but it's nowhere near the amount they'll receive over the Switch 2's lifetime, assuming they can repeat success. Why not eat the cost of the upgrades as a big morale boost? Let the consumer feel like they snuck one over on the billion-dollar corporation. The most important initiative is to get people to buy in, but in order for that to happen, people have to feel excited. Instead, Nintendo is defaulting to their make great games and people will come approach, which surely never fails. This is my first YouTube video I've ever made. I tried to make it short and sweet, but thank you for sticking through it. If you enjoy business strategy and video games, or even if you grin just a little bit, please subscribe so you can see what I have in store. I've got some other ideas, but also a full-time job, so I'd like to hope this was time well spent. Either way, you have a good one.